welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do another lab session. We are practicing together and I think it gets easier when we practice more and more. Now we have done, in my previous videos you will see that we have done this part, and now we are going to set up our first Amazon ElastiCache cluster. It says 20 minutes, so it should be a little bit longer than the previous ones. Setting up a Redis cluster for scalability and high availability. Time 10 to 20 minutes. It's going to be free tier eligible. If you don't have an AWS account, we are going to sign into our AWS account. If you don't have one, you can create one and start practicing. Some of the lab sessions, they have these their testing environments, maybe development environments, so we don't have to use our own, but it's always good to have your own as well. You can practice in your own time as well. So we are going to start with, let's see, sign into Elastic. Is it different than the one we have? ElastiCache. No, it's again mine. Okay, if you sign in directly, you just need to write ElastiCache and it should come up. I'm just going to take this one out. This is the way I enjoy working. It's easier for me. If you don't have a C compiler available, install one by running. Okay, requirements. At some point in this tutorial, you'll have to connect to your Redis cluster in order to experience firsthand some of its features. This means you will need access to EC2 instance with a Redis client installed. If you already have an EC2 instance with a Redis client installed, not sure I do, I don't think I have, you can skip to step 1. Otherwise, connect to your EC2 instance and follow the instructions below to install a Redis client. Okay, shall we have to create cluster makes working shared that extremely easy. Okay, these are the requirements. Download the complete Redis client. If you don't have C amplifier available, install one by running. Not sure how I'm going to run this one. Okay, so I'm just going to continue, and if I get stuck, you'll know. We are going to start region on the top corner. Select region where you want to launch the Redis cluster. Okay, I'll just leave it as it is. And click get started. ElastiCache. Get started here. It's a little different. Then select Redis as your cluster engine. Create a cluster. Create Redis cluster. We have 3 options. I think this one is a little old, so I'm just going to type here, create a Redis cluster, cluster made enabled. Okay, cluster mode, it's here, so enabled. Configure and create new cluster, restore from backups. Okay, the Redis settings name, ELC tutorial. Okay, L is missing. Description, no, it's empty. Mode, node type, change the node type. Node type to 2.3 node type. Where is node type? Cluster settings. Node type is here. Chart 2. Let me type this one and I can select it easily. In the number of shards 3. It means the data will be partitioned in 3 different master nodes. Number of shards is 3 already here. Replicas per shard 2. Documentation. If you need more information about subnet group, please refer to documentation. Select the subnet group, create new. We don't have one, so we need to create a new subnet group. Okay, I'm just going to type LC lab subnet. Okay. Multi-availability zones with auto failover. Each master node will be created in a different availability zone, and each of its replicas will also be allocated to a different availability zone. This is the best practice for improved reliability. Leave the default values. Okay. Choose IDs. Multi-availability. Multi. Where is it? It's going to tags for subnet group. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Shard 123. Select the security group for your Redis cluster. Shall we just go next? Let's see. Security group. Did I not create one? Let me see. Security group. Create a security. Now we need to create the VPC, I guess. It's only one. For multi-availability zone, choose IDs for the list two subnets from availability zones. Subnets. Create a VPC. I'm coming out of the lecture a little bit, but I guess I need to create a VPC. I'm not sure. Let me see. Subnet group. Subnet group is located of subnets, typically private designed subnet group, private Amazon virtual private cloud environment. So probably need the identifier VPC environment where your cluster is to run. So I have that. I don't know if I need to create it. Security group. It says select the security group, but I don't have one. Okay, it's here. Okay, I'm going to choose the one there. Maybe I don't need the VPC in this case. It's already created. Okay. Import data to cluster. For example, we don't load any seed RDB file, so we can skip this configuration step altogether. Okay. Import, where does it say? Security groups, security encryption address is both not selected. Here's security groups selected. Enable backups, enable automatic backups is selected. Okay, maintenance, configure backups, doesn't want to have backups. Maintenance, no preference, enable, and now it says create logs, tags. Okay, let's go now. Maintenance settings, no preference. Okay, review and create. Import data to cluster. Cluster state. It was saying import data to cluster. Let me see again. It's here. Where was it? If you prefer to use Amazon CLI, the command below will create the Redis cluster in one go. Okay. Redis cluster will get initialized, and once it becomes available, you will be able to continue with set step 10. Now we are going to create next and create. Now it's created and set status is creating. If you prefer to use Amazon CLI, the command below will create Redis cluster in one go. Okay, so there is always easy way to do things. Okay, security group IDs. You have to replace security group value with the ID of security group you want to use as the argument. Okay, so if you are going to use this one, just need to okay, connect to Redis. Now we need to connect. Click on the arrow display Redis cluster details. It's still creating. Let me refresh the page. Still creating. I'm just going to wait until it creates. Otherwise things don't work. Okay, now it's available. It took a while. So just let's continue with the next part. 10. We are here. Click Redis cluster details. on here. Cluster configuration endpoint. Hostname configuration endpoint is here. I'm just going to take it. Don't forget to open your notepad. Okay. Use the Redis CLI utility, connect to your Redis node. Use the Redis. Okay, I'm just going to take this. Am I going to connect? Don't know yet. Take this here. Test the connection with ping. So now, trigger. How do we connect here? Copy configuration endpoint in the example. Each time your endpoint is mentioned, you should use the host name of your configuration endpoint. Okay. Details. We haven't connected yet. Modify, connect. How do we connect? Do you know, guys? No, not here. Okay, let's go down. Trigger. Now you have a working and healthy Redis cluster. One of the features of cluster mode is the fact that if a node dies, the cluster can heal itself. In order to test that claim, you can trigger a manual failover and following will happen. Read replica will be. Okay, how did we connect it? I don't know if we connected yet. Configuration endpoint. Connect to Redis available. We haven't connected yet. Created and cluster. Actions. Modify view. Don't know how we are going to console. Is it here? No. Use the Redis CLI utility. So where is this? Redis engine. Redis. Logs, metrics, logs. Here? No. So I guess because it was saying to download it in the beginning, let me see. I haven't downloaded, so that's why I'm not able to go and connect. At some point in this, you will have to connect to Redis Cluster. Okay, so this is where it says download. You will need access to EC2 instance with Redis client installed. If you have a EC2 instance Redis client installed, you can skip to step 1. Otherwise, connect to your EC2 instance and follow the instructions below to install Redis client. So I need to install the Redis client. Let's do install one by running. Download and compile the Redis client. Now you are all set to start the tutorial. How it's going to... I see that. Is this the way we download it? I'm not sure, but it says from AWS console. Redis cluster in order. Redis client. Do we have that in the Redis Amazon memory for MemoriDB for Redis? Its features here. ElastiCache feature. Why I can't access? What is happening? Not sure. Shall I try to download this one? I couldn't find anything on Amazon AWS console. Okay, I don't see any other way, so I need to have the Redis installed. First, you need to enable install. It's too much technicalities for someone who is going to do it for the first time. Okay guys, so I don't know how to install Redis client. I need to search and find out more about this one. So they ask you to trigger the failover and see how it's working. And then we will need to delete our cluster that we created. And after deleting the cluster, it was going to finish, but because I don't have a Redis client, you created a Redis cluster with cluster mode enabled. The nodes were spread across availability zones and configured with automatic failovers. You have also learned about some best practices for Redis cluster deployments. This is what we need to find out more about. I will see you in my next video. Bye. So I have to do my online research about this Redis cluster. If you want to know more about Redis Cluster, read this. Okay, get started from Amazon ElastiCache for Redis Cluster. Redis. What is Redis Cluster? How can we install it? Let's see and learn.